KVJ show to start your morning. Kevin is the host, and his skin pigment is whiter than Casper the Ghost. Virginia sounds like this. Nickname Vicious Bee, so don't get her pissed. Jason talks like a spaz, and he loves to talk about Bigfoot and stacks. So get ready, here we go. You're listening to 97.9 with the KVJ show.
Hello and welcome to the KVJ show. How y'all doing today?
Good morning.
Good seeing y'all. Yeah. JBird over there got a tangle issue with his headphones, huh?
I lead the league in knots.
It looked like somebody come in here in the middle of the night and tied 18 knots in his headphone cord.
Yeah.
I mean, these are unbelievable knots.
Yeah, it's like what your Christmas lights look like when you unpack them out of the box.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of my cords, shockingly.
Yeah.
You look fancy today. What's going on?
I look fancy today. This literally is an $8 Old Navy shirt that I
It's got a collar.
All of my Bigfoot shirts cost so much more money than this piece of crap. But even Denny's is like, whoa, very fancy today.
Well, it's got a collar.
Well, it's laundry day. I had nothing else to wear.
That's what throws everybody off. You see Bird in a collar, you're like, okay, what's going down here?
Right? Is there some meeting that I don't know about?
Like a banker over here.
Yeah, you're looking real fancy. You look nice. Looking real nice. Want to see all this fun going on in the studio here? We got KVJ TV that you can dial up and check it out right there. It's easy to do on YouTube. You just go for the KVJ show. Hit subscribe too. Get notifications on any kind of new stuff that we got going on. So just do there and hit that.
This is the KVJ show on 97.9 WRMF.
What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Are you thinking about? What are you thinking about?
What you think about JBird?
Oh, one of my worst fears. I used to love going on roller coasters as a kid, and even the small ones. The kiddie rides, I kind of, it was more my speed. And you think, oh, it's the kiddie ride. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Well, in Brazil, some video just dropped of one of those small little mini kiddie rides, like a roller coaster. And as it's coming around the corner, it completely derails and flies into a fence. We have the audio right here. This is what it sounded like.
No way.
Oh, geez.
Oh, gosh.
That is my biggest
Were the kids
fear.
okay?
Everybody was okay. Minimal injuries.
Oh, my gosh.
Could not believe that. But I remember one time I was at this fair, and I did not want to go on this Ferris wheel. It was the biggest Ferris wheel there. And I was looking at it, I'm going, I don't think this thing is put up right. It doesn't look right. The guy, as I'm getting in there, I was on a first date, by the way. He looks at me, he goes, watch your balls. And then he slams the door on me. So right off the bat, I knew something is weird with this thing. It got stuck, and it got stuck at we were at the top of the Ferris wheel. We were stuck up there for over an hour, and I am scared of heights, and all I remember was this helicopter flying by us, and they were blasting the song, I Swear, and it was so loud and intense, and my date did not have me up for another date after that one.
That was it, huh?
Yeah.
One and done.
I didn't handle it that well. I don't know, man. Some of those rides at some of those fairs kind of scared me.
Well, I know they're well inspected, but yeah, it does because, they're putting them down, taking them up, and all that kind of stuff.
Are they well inspected? How do you know that?
Well, they do have inspections daily that they go through, and whoever is supposed to be doing that. So obviously, inspector didn't get enough coffee that morning, and they missed something.
Well, you have to, I think for a traveling fair,
Yeah.
you have to get clearance before it can open. They have to go around and check each and every ride. But if it's a stationary fair that stays there all the time, it might be different.
And again, if you have a whole team of people checking the X's and O's, not everyone's doing their job all the time. How do you know the person that sets up that particular ride isn't a big drinker? They're going through a big drinking run.
And good luck trying to predict mechanical failure. A lot of times you can't.
I mean, I feel good. I never am scared at Disney or Universal. Those rides, for some reason, I never even think about it. But if it's other stuff, carnivals, fairs.
You're right. It's more the permanent fair thing, Virginia, that they have. I know, like, it's Old Town, I think, in Orlando. That's kind of like what it looks like. it's like a permanent fair. They got the Ferris wheel and that slingshot ride. That slingshot ride is what horrifies me because you get into that thing might just shoot you to the moon. And
Do you trust
you just
Old
never come back to
Town?
Earth.
I don't trust that
It's got
place.
old in its name. That alone scares me. What you got on your mind today, Virginia?
Well, Mags is always telling me how, you know, when she and her friends are out and about, you know, as they're making purchases and doing things and going through life, that they're treated differently by grown-ups. And I always thought, she's just, you know, being dramatic, whatever. But yesterday, I kind of got to see it for myself. So we were doing the last bit of back to school shopping. You know, yesterday was the last day of the tax-free holiday. Mm-hmm. So you could go and buy, you know, all your little school stuff without paying taxes. And we're running through the mall, getting this, getting that. And I sent her into this one place ahead of me so I could go and grab something else real fast. And so she was already in there being helped. And then I came in there after her. And the clerk was helping her, but the clerk was the same person that was also running the register. So the clerk's like behind the counter, getting her stuff from behind the counter that Mags wanted to look at. And then Mags was like, all right, I'm ready to jump in line. And these ladies like jumped right in front of her with their kids and their stuff. And then the clerk and the manager didn't do anything about it. They let the ladies, the older lady, cut in front of her. And I'm standing there watching all this happen. And I'm like, wow, okay, Mags is right. I think a lot of times there is age discrimination that happens in retail. And
Oh, yeah.
she's been telling me this for a while, and I've been like, no, Mags, you're just blowing this up out of proportion. But I saw it with my own two eyes. But not just the staff, but also other customers.
The reason why is because the people who work there, if it's just Magnolia by herself, they're gonna most likely Mags is never gonna spend as much money as those parents are gonna spend. I know you don't know that but that's gonna be their reason. They're gonna see a kid go in there and go, they're not dropping any money. I mean, it's real, but that's why.
I know, it's just not right.
I hear you. I mean, the world is not right,
Oh,
Virginia.
Virginia. Oh, the world is not right.
So many crimes in the world, Virginia.
Yes. It is just craziness that's going on here. And, you know, the one thing that just keeps happening, popping up in the news after the shootings that we had over the weekend is just, you know, we'd had the thing at Rosemary Square. We'd had the thing at the mall at Wellington Green. So it sent me a story that apparently last night in Times Square, there was a motorcycle that just backfired. And people thought that, you know, it was an active shooter.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so things just got absolutely, you know, crazy with that. Like, people were just kind of running nuts all over the place in Times Square, and you can only imagine. So, you know, people were doing that. The story's out today that, yeah, you know, when you have that, there's more and more shootings that happen, the copycats and all that kind of stuff.
Do you think the 24-hour news cycle of it constantly covering it, constantly showing it, constantly throwing the clips up there, do you think that contributes to the fear for people? Do you think it needs to be that much out in the open where it's reported on? So, because every news station had it on for so long.
Yeah, it's a totality of it. I mean, if you sit there and watch it too long, you think that's all that is happening in the world. And it does get to you. That's why I think, you know, it really is supposed to be there for your convenience, that you can get the top news and what's happening right now anytime you turn on the TV. But you turn on, be going, okay, I see what's going on. I can walk away.
But they are looking for new angles. It's kind of like the week after before the Super Bowl. They're looking for other angles. When the news actually stops, they keep on going down other avenues, and I think sometimes it freaks people out.
Oh, big time it freaks people out. But yeah, I mean, they're trying to stick with what people want to hear them talking about. That's what drives ratings, and people want to hear them talking about that stuff because people want to be informed. If there's something that's happened, you want to know about it because more than ever, this kind of stuff could impact your life. So it is, you know, important. So I think it's putting a lot of people, you know, on edge, and it's making people anxious. And unfortunately, it's, you know, making people more angry, and it's more divisive. And that's why I love to see this story about this 11-year-old kid. He's 11 years old in El Paso. He has started the El Paso Challenge, where he's challenging everybody in El Paso to do 22 good deeds for each other in honor of the 22 victims who were murdered at that Walmart.
Oh, that's so
The
sweet.
kid is 11 years old, and he's doing this.
I love that.
And it's just, it goes to show you that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to even be old. You can do anything out there to make a positive mark. And if you feel like I think probably a lot of us do, you feel helpless in all this and you don't know what to do. And the only thing you know how to do is just keep watching the news over and over again. This is something to do. And that's something that everybody can do. You know, we can all start with a little bit of an infusion of positivity. And anybody can take on that challenge, not just El Paso.
I'm going to start right now.
Yeah.
Breakfast is on the bird, whatever you guys want.
There's one. Hello.
I mean, I know Kevin's not going to take me up on that, but Mama, just get
I
up.
just ate 20 minutes ago.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's a long show, baby. It's a long show.
Okay. All right. Maybe take you up on lunch, though.
Yeah, where are you going to be for lunch?
Yeah.
This guy's buying.
Hit me up for that. So I like that story, and I think that we are, like JBird saying, you're getting 24 hours of negativity and anxiety. So it's nice to hear just a moment of peace. So that's what one kid is doing. Let's all jump on that today.
Get the info on everything that's going on with us at kvjshow.com.
We're just talking about the story that 11-year-old kid in El Paso, nice statement that he is making to honor the 22 victims of the shooting there from the Walmart over the weekend. He is encouraging people to go out and commit 22 acts of kindness to other people. The kid's 11 years old. And he's already making that kind of statement. Just the kind of thing you want to see out of your kid. When you're a parent and your kid does something like that, you're like, man, that's awesome. Unless you're threatening for them to do it.
Yeah, you're the reason why they're doing it. Hey, we're going to go viral. Let's go.
You're going to do something nice. Here's what you're going to say.
I wonder how many times that happens.
I'm sure it
Or
happens.
it's the parents really leading the
I'm going to
viral
look
charge.
like a great parent. You're going to look like an awesome kid.
We're going to get you booked on Good Morning America.
Right. Yeah, they asked 1,500 parents in this survey, what's the number one thing you want your kids to be when they grow up? What do you think parents said, Virginia? If you had to guess. Like, what would
Happy.
you say with your kids?
I think happy.
Happy, yeah.
Happy should be number one.
Kind to others, kindness. Is that overrated these days?
No, this list is actually very encouraging, you know, whether or not they mean it. But the top answers are things like happy and healthy. They just want them to have a stable family life. You know, it was just really those kind of things, be respected by their friends and their peers.
Wouldn't you also hate on the other end if you found out your kid was the bully, like the nasty bully being all mean? That'd be kind
You
of...
don't want that.
No.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen, you
It
know.
would break your heart.
If you saw that with your own eyes, them
Ugh.
being mean to somebody.
I'd be so upset.
I would think, from one of that, and you never know anymore, but you just watch the news. But yeah, you would think any normal parent that would be ultimately what you want, is you want to see your kid being a good kid and just having a good quality life.
Normal parent, you said.
A normal parent. Yeah, there are some that are just
Kick his
jigged up and
ass.
yeah, right. Yeah. The one thing that's kind of interesting about the list is rich did not make the top 10 for qualities that they had. So you wouldn't know that if you talked to some of those Hollywood parents who are trying all kinds of college scandals to get their kids in, that rich is not one of the top 10 most important things.
But again, though, they were doing that for themselves, not for the kids. It was all about what made the parents feel good.
Yeah.
When it came to that college stuff. The one girl didn't even want to go to college.
Yeah, it's tough. There are a lot of kids today that really don't. There is a new stat that had come out about how kids feel about college, and they say that the numbers are lower than ever. According to this study, half of people under the age of 21 today say they don't think college is necessary anymore.
Well, because it's not. I mean, I'm glad I graduated from college, but I look back and go, honestly, it was so much money, and I did not get that much out of it. I really didn't. I mean, it wasn't like I got this job automatically out of school. Yeah. I'm still in my 40s paying off student loans.
Oof.
Yeah.
And half my credits didn't transfer. I mean, it was a struggle, and when you get out of that big struggle, you're feeling like, this is it? Okay, doesn't really matter. I think some professions you definitely need a college degree, like a doctor. You got to go. You have to do all that kind of stuff. But there's some. I think a lot of people want to make it on their own.
Why do you think you did it? Was your family pushing you to do it? Or?
I think I was going to be the first kid in my family to get a college degree. Second, I think that was the culture. You got a college degree. I played baseball. I saw all my friends getting degrees. I thought it was the right thing to do. And I think a lot of that contributes to it. But it was the pricing and the expenses. When I had to pay over $300 for an economics book, and then I had to pay for a lab on top of how much I had to pay already, I'm like, they're trying to screw me. And they were. It's all about money,
And
baby.
they did.
They did. I still am.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting if you look at the list about the kids versus their parents. 96% of parents say they still expect their kids to go to college. And for people of an older generation, 96% in this study of like 1,500 people.
Yeah, I'm not over here saying don't go to college because I think it's a great thing if that's what you want to do. I'm just saying don't expect the choir to when you graduate because it might not be there.
I think what parents see, and when I talk to other parents about this, because I agree with you, I think you and I have the same feelings on college, JBird, is that, you know, it's good if you're going into that craft and you really kind of know what you want to do. But when I talk to other parents that really staunchly defend it for every kid and say every kid has to go to college, and I'm like, well, why? And pretty much the number one answer that I get back from parents is because my kids need that structure. You need that structure when you get out of high school, because otherwise, left to your own devices, you'll get into foolish things, having to go to class, having to study, having that kind of responsibility, and having a goal set for you early, which is graduating and getting grades, gets you focused into the real world. And as you mature and your brain develops, like I think it's the age of 25, you're pretty much set, you're locked in. That's about the time you get out of college for some people, depending upon if you go for a master's and all that. Then now you're ready to start making those decisions, and now you're structured and organized. But when you're 19 and you get out of high school, you're not. And if you just get an apartment and go running around, you're going to act like a maniac, and you'll make bad decisions you got to pay for the rest of your life.
It's training wheels.
Yeah.
It's a nice transition from living with mom and dad to being just free and clear in the workforce.
And
it's like a middle little ground.
I agree with. I think for some people it is structure. It's almost like the army for some people. It's a structure. But some people do. Now you can't put everybody in the same compartment, because some people out of high school, they're mature and know what they want, and they want to go for something. And if they have to go to a school that there's not really, you know, that's the field they want to go into, just because their parents are saying you got to do this, it's not for everybody.
I think you have to know your kid. What I think is, because we only seem to have two options right now. You either have college or you have the military. But is there something that kids between the age of like 19 and 25 can kind of go into to help them?
Fortnite.
Yeah, and that's it, because
trade school.
Right.
Trade school is for a lot of kids.
I do believe in trade school. If you know what you want to do, I think that it's a great thing, because it's not as long usually, and it's not as expensive usually.
Yeah, and that's
and it's hyper focused.
89% of kids have considered doing something other than a traditional four-year college. Some of that could be even online courses, trade school, like you said, or learning on the job. And so I guess that would be your third option. And I just think for some parents, and I've got, 3 kids, I've got 2 that are through it. I've got one that's focused, dialed in. I've got one that, is kind of doing her career. You look at your kids and sometimes you just think, okay, maybe they're not going to be focused enough to do the right things. That's why you let's ship them off to college.
You also don't want a kid that's so unfocused you ship off to college and then they fail all the classes and you waste all this money, which that happens a lot too.
Sure. And so for parents, there is a list that you probably want to look at, and Princeton Review does it for you every year. They rank out the top party schools in the country. One of the problems for me when I went to college, I went to the #1 party school in America at the time. And it was just renowned for just being this. And pretty much all the kids from New England and New York that couldn't get into the higher schools would wind up where I was. And they had a lot of money and they knew how to party. And man, it was a good time. And if you're going to be sending your kid to any South Florida schools, there are 2 that you might want to watch out for. 2 South Florida schools made the top 20 party schools in the country. I will let you know what those are coming up next. We're talking about kids today, not necessarily thinking that they need to go to college. I don't know. Come on. What am I doing? Yeah, they say that pretty much more than half now are not thinking about going to college, but 96% of the parents do want them to go.
You got to do something. You just can't do nothing.
And that's, I think, what it is. Your kids would be like, I'm going to take, what do they call that one year? They take that year off.
Sabbatical?
It's sabbatical.
No,
I'm going to go and travel.
It's like a Rumspringer. Yeah, what's the word?
Gap year, I think, is what they call it.
Gap year.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go travel with your money, mom and dad.
And the thing is, they realize this is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do.
Why would I ever go to school? I'm going to have 2 gap years.
There is a stat where people say they're going to go back to college, and if they take a year or 2 off, you never graduate. Most people don't go back to school. There's a stat on that.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially if you go to school for a couple years and you take a break and say, I'm going to go back. A lot of times you don't go back.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's because they found something bigger and better.
I don't
with
know.
The world.
I think you can outgrow it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that you can like try to get back in the groove and put yourself back in that mind frame, but sometimes when you miss it, you miss it.
Well, if you're making money all of a sudden, and let's say you were in college and you weren't making that much money, now you get a job and you're making some money, you have benefits, and you're not rich, but you're at least on your own a bit. Then you go back to school, and it's a different structure, man. You're not working as much, and if you are working, you're doubling up. You're doing your full-time job, then you're going to school, and then that's not living, baby.
Well, before you send the kids off to school, sometimes taking a look at the Princeton Review's list of the top party schools might help you out because you're going, oh, they're going to be fine. You send them off to a raging party school, like what happened to me, then, yeah, sometimes it can get away from you. Yeah, my goodness.
Don't have to tell me. I went to a top party school as well, and it was difficult. There was so much fun stuff to do. Like, you really had to focus. And if you were a slow learner like me, it was hard.
Well, if you're easily distracted by a good time.
Right.
And you go to a school where, and in college, you can give you Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, that should be the norm. But when the place is raging on a Tuesday, and you're like,
Tuesday is nickel beer night, Kevin.
College
Or at least
Yeah,
it
that's what we
was.
did. Monday for us was nickel beer night. So, where I went, you had something every night. You're like going, I can't study. It's nickel beer night.
See, that's a true college town right there.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
It was such a deal. So there are 2 in Florida you got to watch out for that made the top 20 in the list. I believe they're down over the last couple of years in the rankings, but UF is your top party school in Florida. It's number 16 on the national list. Florida State is right behind at number 18 on the list. So it's not too bad. It's fun, but maybe not too crazy. The ones you got to watch out for, here's what they say, is Syracuse is number 1 now. They've got Alabama, University of Alabama at 2. University of Delaware at 3.
What else is going on there?
Yeah.
All you can do is party, right?
I guess so. West Virginia University is number 4. I used to go there and party in the day, and it's they burn couches for fun. And number 5 is Tulane.
Okay.
And that's New Orleans, right?
It is.
Okay, so that's your top 5 party schools and the 2 biggest in Florida.
Did yours drop off, the one that you went to?
Yes, they made a big Ohio University where I went doesn't even make the top 20 anymore because some president came in and he was disgraced.
They shifted.
That they made the list. They were never outside of the top 5 for like 20 years, and he's like, "We're changing this."
Did you try to become a Buckeye, or was that not in the cards for you?
I did. It's a long story. Yeah.
See, that's why I want to interview Kev. I want to get behind these stories.
Yeah. I applied. I did not get like a letter of acceptance. And apparently my dad, because he was on the alumni board, and he said, so my kid didn't make it in? They're like, no, he made it. And they're like, well, you didn't send him a letter. And so that's how I wound up at the other school. So I don't know. They tried to claim that they did. They're probably going, oh, crap. What do you tell this guy?
He's on the board.
I know your dumbass son did not make it into an easy-to-get-into school.
You're great for the board. Your kid's not good for studying.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I wound up where I wound up. Well, if you're not going to do a trade school, college, or the Army, you've always got either a career in YouTube or a reality show. That seems to be the other avenues that you can go down. Now, JBird has got to be sad because your Love Island is about to end.
Yeah, it's the finale week. Tonight's the last night.
How does it go? Because I haven't watched a second of it. Like, is there a winner, like on The Bachelorette?
Yeah, the public picks their favorite couple, and then I think they get a purse of money.
Okay.
But it's really it's a weird show. It is very odd. I think that's why I like it. I won't talk too much about the details. I know that annoys people.
Are people paired up and then they play as teams?
They pair up, and then when they get a connection, they bring new people in the villa that try to get a connection with them. And was their old connection, is it going to stand the test of time through the new connection? And sometimes it does not.
He is so invested
I'm so
in this.
in it. It's on every night at 8. It's what I put on when I go to bed. It's kind of my night.
Such a commitment.
It's my night routine. That's when I know it's getting late.
Wow, what are you going to do when it's off? You don't know when to go to bed.
Big Brother.
Well, Big Brother's on tonight.
I know.
Is Big Brother up against Love Island? And who will you choose in your Sophie's Choice?
Same network. 8 o'clock Love Island, 9 o'clock Big Brother.
Oh, okay. You don't have to pick.
He won't pick. I go for both of them. So this means this is pretty much going to be the last week for our Like Island.
It is.
Yeah. Now, what exactly is going on in this scene here, JBird?
You've got a couple, okay? You've got Emily and you've got Weston. They're talking with each other, and it's about a 35, 36-second clip. How many likes do you think is in this clip?
Okay, it's 39 seconds
Okay.
total. 39 seconds total.
Oh, 39.
And again, there's a little controversy on how many likes there are. I have a number. Denny's has a number. Suits has a number. Virginia, you are now our official keeper.
We always have all different numbers.
What do you think, Virginia, if you had to take a guess here?
The number 17 is just hitting me between the eyes.
Okay.
17, okay. Well, I've noticed one thing is you pretty much divide by 2. Whenever we get these clips, that's how often they're liking.
Every other second.
Yeah, so if you have close to 40 seconds, the high mark would be 20 and somewhere in between. So I think 17 might be good. I would go with like a 16 somewhere in there.
Good strategy.
There's actually a formula. I found out as we played this game every single week. That's kind of what it is. Okay, so how many likes can we get here in a 39-second clip from the show Love Island?
You know, like we went on our first date and it was like magic.
Even then, I felt like everything was right. Like things just felt right with you, and like I felt so comfortable.
Okay. Now I think did I get 2 in that?
I thought I got 3.
It happened so fast.
It happened real fast because he starts off the bat with 1.
Oh, okay. Right off he was saying like. Okay, so we're at 8 seconds right now.
And like even though we couldn't even stay on the paddleboard, like it felt so like fun to me, and like
Okay.
That was
Now, this is if you're taking notes in how to become a massive liker. I mean, this is clinical right here. I mean, this is impressive. This is how the pros do it.
stay on the paddleboard, like it felt so like fun to me, and like
Okay, that is 3. 3 likes she was able to knock out in a matter of 4 seconds.
very impressive.
That's a high ratio.
What are you at, Virginia?
Right now I'm at 7.
And how many seconds are we in, Kev?
We're at 16 and a half.
Okay.
so natural, and like I felt super comfortable with you. I was like literally trying to hold your hand the whole time.
See what she did here. You can work in double likes. If you start off with a like and your brain freezes,
You're right.
you go. It's like
Buffering.
It does. Her brain freezes here.
and then you reset with another like. That's how you can work double likes into it.
I was like,
Wait, you hear her patting because she's like, brain won't work.
I was like,
I was like,
Buffering.
I was like literally trying to hold your hand the whole time.
You came forward and you came running, guns blazing. And I was like, that's hot. I'm like, why am I smiling? I don't know why I'm smiling.
Wait,
That was 2.
that's a terrible line.
He worked
That's
in 2.
That's a terrible line on top of it. Hold on. I got to hit pause on here just to hear this terrible line. What did he say? You were like thirsting for water and I came guns a-blazing?
You were. It's something like you came in guns a-blazing. I was like, that's hot, or whatever he says.
This is amazing.
You came forward and you came running.
You came for water?
No, I think he said you came forward and you came running.
Okay.
I think.
You came forward and you came running,
all right. Okay.
guns blazing. And I was like, that's hot. I'm like, why am I smiling? I don't know why I'm smiling.
We got
Why
2.
Why are you
I'm
talking?
smiling.
I don't know why you're talking.
He's the guy on the island. They love Virginia, the cowboy.
Okay. Grand finale, last 9 seconds here of Like Island.
Once I recoupled with you, like I only wanted to get to know you. Like I didn't want to spend time getting to know anybody else. I was like, I knew that I had a strong connection with you.
Oh, wow.
There was, I think, 3 in there.
It was pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, the grand finale and the tally is right around 15 likes.
I think Virginia's got 16.
I do.
Denny's got 16 as well.
Okay.
I think 16 is our magic number.
What did I originally say?
You said
17.
17.
Wow, I wasn't too
job.
far off.
Not bad. Not bad. Well, it's close to the ratio. 39 seconds, 16 likes.
We do have a like epidemic in this country. There's something going on. It's getting worse.
It
like
is.
really bad.
Like it's a national like epidemic. Okay. A few celebrities having a birthday today include Charlize Theron is 44 today, and David Duchovny of The X-Files turns 59. Also, I want to say a quick happy birthday to Scott. Love ya, Mama, Papa Bean, Shelby, and Cheese. Also, happy birthday to my love, Brendan. You can be in your mid-30s as long as you like. Didn't realize men, too, are self-conscious about their age.
Oh.
Steph and the Fuzz Nuggets. There you go. Cute little birthdays. You got one you want to get to us? Mail at kvjshow.com, mail at kvjshow.com. I got a text. Somebody wants like a PSA here. People driving where the roads are flooded, where there's standing water, do not stop as you're going through it. Keep moving. That's how you stall and get stuck. I saw a couple stuck cars yesterday. It was crazy. I couldn't believe.
I did too, yeah.
It was kind of like in the afternoon, I would say maybe around 3:30, 4 o'clock. It was like end of the world thunderstorm. The lightning and thunder was about 8 seconds apart.
You have to see the picture that Virginia's husband Panda took. Did you see that thing?
No.
It's pretty amazing. I'll show you.
Was it downtown he took that?
Yeah, that was just west of 95 by where he works. And he went out there with a drone.
He caught a lightning bolt, complete full form and everything. It looks amazing.
Look at that.
You could hang that on a wall.
Wow, that is amazing.
We got to post
Did
that.
he just take it at the right time, or how'd that work out?
Well, he was doing a video with his drone, and so he screenshot the video.
Oh, that's cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Let's post that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I would. Yeah, you could turn that into a
piece of wall art.
frameable. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there was some serious lightning going on yesterday.
Does thunder calm you like it calms me? It makes me so relaxed. The louder the thunder, the more relaxed I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
A light rumble I'm okay with, but if it starts to get a little too much, then like almost yesterday I was like, this seems a little odd.
Biblical?
It was, yeah. I almost was like, okay, if I look outside, what am I going to see? So I just hid in my room. Yeah, it was crazy. And then there were some cars that were stalling out. It does get crazy, and that's what we're seeing is some of the flash flooding. I think the moon's got something to do with all this kind of stuff that's happening too.
The moon.
Yeah, them king tides or whatever they call them. So, yeah, the PSA is keep moving. That's how you stall and get stuck. Also, if people are leaving space between them and the car in front of them, don't cut them off. Leave space.
And just beware of the moon. That's a good PSA overall.
Yeah, so there's a lot of comments that are coming out about all that crazy stuff. Yeah, coming up here in just a bit, going to be playing a fun game. We've noticed that Baby Rocco and JBird do a lot of the same things.
My kid's kind of taking my act. I don't know if I like this.
They do have a lot of similarities.
JBird and a 4-year-old, yes.
He has been so extra loving to me. Over the weekend, he came up, hugged me, told me he loved me more than peanut butter and jelly. And then yesterday, he ran in here, gave me the biggest kiss on my neck.
Aww.
And then he runs over to Virginia and goes, Mommy, I just kissed JBird.
He's a little lover. Coming up here in just a bit, we've got a fun new game, JBird or Rocco. We'll let you know that something one of the two of them has done, and you got to try to figure out exactly who it was.
It's not an easy game.
It's really not an easy
You
game.
flip a coin, yeah. So we'll get to that as well coming up here on the KVJ show. Well, we started noticing that the things that Virginia's small child, Rocco, is doing, he's 4, is a lot like the things that our big child, JBird, does. In fact, almost identical. If you just strip the name off of the identity in the sentence, you wouldn't really know who's doing what.
It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, so to prove the point and see just how tough it is, we've got the JBird or Rocco game here, and Jen is on from Boynton Beach. Hello, Jen.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to tell you that something that one of the two of them did, and you guys try to figure out exactly which one of the two it was, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, you got this, girl.
Here we go. Let's see if you can get 3 out of 4 on this, or just maybe 1 out of 4.
It might be hard.
Tough.
Something tells me that Kevin's going to let you win because he knows the difficulty.
Okay, here we go. The first thing. Which one, JBird or Rocco, put his full dinner in the dryer?
Rocco.
You're going to say that is Rocco. No, that was JBird.
What?
I was multitasking. I was doing like 3 different things at one time, and I was trying to put it in the oven, and I put it in the dryer. And then I'm looking for my food. I go, "Where's my food at?" I think it's in the dryer.
Okay.
I'm not the best multitasker. One task at a time.
Yeah.
I love this game.
Maybe we'll see how many it takes for you to get one right. Okay. Okay, what about this? Spilled red paint on a brand new $100 rug. Ooh. Okay, what do you think? Who was that?
Rocco.
Gonna go with Rocco on that. No, that was JBird?
Yeah, it was me. I just bought a brand new rug, and I was painting something, which I should not have been doing, and spilled a ton of murder red on this white carpet. It was murder
It's a
red.
white carpet?
Yeah, it's a beautiful. It was a beautiful
Oh,
carpet.
you got to throw that away.
It's already in the dumpster.
Okay, well, this is a tough game here.
So hard.
It's gone 2, hasn't got 1 right yet. Okay, how about spilled an entire bag of Skittles in the KVJ studio?
JBird.
Gonna go JBird. No, that one was Rocco.
It was actually, he spilled a whole thing of, he just opened up the bag.
Brand new bag.
And he spilled it, and they all went in his shoe, actually.
Oh.
Okay, boy, this is tough.
Let's keep going. I should get 1.
Okay, all right, what about this one? Is this JBird or Rocco ate all the marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms and put the cereal bits back into the box?
I gotta say JBird.
Gotta say JBird. No, that was Rocco.
I would never do that. That's disrespectful to cereal.
Rocco loves the marshmallow bits. He figured out how to put an entire box into a giant a mixing bowl, pick out all the marshmallows, and then dump it back in. His sister was pissed.
Oh, it's disrespectful. You can't do that. It's sacrilegious to cereal.
Yeah, okay. I think we got.
I have a 4-year-old too, so.
Yes, so she should know. She should be right dialed in on this. Let's
It's
see how tough
hard.
this game is.
It's a hard game.
Okay, let's
hi?
try. Hello.
Yeah, we're
4-year-olds, they
My
always
son
want
wanted-
to talk until they get in front of a microphone or a phone.
I've noticed that.
Okay, here we go. Let's try one more here, Jen. Let's see if out of 5 you can get 1 right. Okay, which one, JBird or Rocco, accidentally locked the keys twice in the car within a 2-hour period?
JBird.
You got your first one right.
Yay!
After 5.
Nice work.
You got 1 right there, Jen. Very nice.
Thank
That
you.
was JBird. You did that. How did that happen? Twice?
Just time, life, it gets to you.
Yeah.
You're not thinking. I'm thinking about my dinner in the dryer.
Well, why did I put my dinner in the dryer? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I think Rocco might have it more together.
Oh, right. I was wondering when it was going to turn mean from the witch.
There you go. It took 5 minutes. Jen, congratulations. You got dinner on us. Do not put it in the dryer. Go to Carrabba's and eat it there, okay?
Oh, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Yeah, there you go. Enjoy that 4-year-old, okay?
Say hi.
All right, there we go. There we go. We finally got him to talk. Okay, that's what we're looking for.
Drama, drama, you got drama and you gotta tell all. You love to complain about your pain. Hey, you're Facebook fishing. Facebook fishing.
Okay, here we go. We got a nice little post here that really focuses on Kayla's mom. Apparently, Kayla's mom has got it going on in our Facebook fishing post here today. I will play the role of Kayla. JBird, I will let you play the role of Christy.
Any direction?
Sassy.
Sassy?
Sassy.
All right.
We'll have Virginia play Brandon. We got a Brandon in this one.
She looks like a Brandon.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. Okay, and let me see here. We got Denny's then playing the role of Evan. Okay, all right, so here we go. This is Kayla putting this up, I believe, on Instagram is where this one is from. Yeah, hello, living my best life. It is official. I just dumped Evan.
Someone's not ready.
I am ready. I don't see.
Christy?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Here, Christy.
Okay, what's that? Hold on, I got a lot going on here.
Who can't read, JBird or Rocco?
Again,
I know,
so
right?
mean. You are really, you're part witch.
Can we get Rocco in here and take his place?
Look,
Now playing the role of Christy, it's Rocco. No. All right.
All right. Can we get
Let me reboot.
Let's
here.
reboot this
We'll
thing.
reboot here.
Cut and action.
All right. Me playing the role of Kayla, JBird playing the role of Christy. Okay. Just living my best life. It's official. I just dumped Evan.
Why?
I don't think he likes me. He never really wants to go anywhere. He just wants to hang out at my house all the time. And when he does come over, he spends more time with my mom than with me.
Ick. So gross, Kayla. Glad you booted his creepy ass.
bootied?
Booted. I said booted.
Probably a smart decision. You really can't compete with your mom.
WTF, Brandon? Did you mean I can't compete with my mom because it's disgusting? Or are you trying to say that my mom is hotter than me?
Sorry for the confusion, but yeah, you can't compete with your mom. Your mom is the real reason for global warming. Okay? Sometimes when I need to take care of business, I close my eyes and I think of your mom. Hope you don't mind.
OMG, Brandon, that's so freaking nasty.
Brandon, get off my pads and never come back.
Sorry, Kayla, but you should have known not to bring boyfriends to your yard. I bet your mom's milkshake is way better than yours.
Oh! Blocking you, you a-hole.
Here comes Evan. Kayla, I'm sorry things didn't work out, and I'm sorry about Brandon's comments. I hope we can stay friends because I just asked your mom out, and she said yes. See you Friday night.
Oh, boy. Come on, man. Trolls, trolls, trolls. I do actually want to see what her mom looks like now.
Right? Can we get a picture of Kayla's mom?
That was in the photo she put on Instagram, and I'm sure she went back and deleted every photo of her mom right after that whole post.
You guys are so gross.
Yes. All right, if you ever see a post, you can send it to us. Can be from any platform whatsoever. Just do a screenshot of it and send it to mail@kvjshow.com. You ever have a story that makes you just go, oh my gosh. See, I didn't think fishing was necessarily something that was too crazy and I guess would be in the ranks of violent. Not say this is violent, but did you hear the story about the 11-year-old boy that accidentally caught his fishing hook in his eyeyelid and cheek?
I can't do this story,
yeah.
Kevin. Oh my God. I grew up with a kid who was a big time fisher, and he put the fishing line back. He hooked his dad's eyeball, and his dad went blind, and the kid was so messed up after that. I grew up with that kid, and that story always stayed with me.
I could see why.
Eyeball fish? Oh, hell no.
The dad really went blind?
It destroyed his eye. It got hooked in his eye.
Oh,
the
my
kid was
gosh.
like rigging it. Oh, it was terrible.
Reeling it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was fishing one time when I was a kid, and my buddy had on wrestling shoes, which really have no soles to them. They're just basically just a little plastic strip on the bottom of them because you wear them on wrestling mats for the most part.
Okay.
And we were fishing for catfish in the Ohio River, and we had a catfish that was laying up on the bank of the river. He didn't see it because it was like dark, and he stepped on it, and they've got those things, and it went up through his foot. Fishing has got some gnarly stories,
You gotta
man.
be careful. It's not just a peaceful way for the retired to enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh no! At Du Bois Park, Diaper Beach, you can. There's areas where you can stand on some of the rocks and fish. I knew another guy who was fishing shirtless. The wave hit him. He fell onto the rock. He had cuts on the side of his body. Fishing can be dangerous.
Oh, yeah. And then there's this story even today. This woman in Washington, she was out on her boat at this fishing derby, and she looked and saw that somebody had caught a juvenile giant red Pacific octopus. And she's like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. She's like, this would look great on social media. So she wanted to post it for the Derby's photo contest that they have. So she had the octopus, and she put it right up by her face for the picture. And then all of a sudden, the octopus goes like right on her face and bit her chin twice.
Great photo, though.
Oh my god!
It stuck on her face. Just
It was eating her
yes, it was
face?
eating her face. They said her face was bleeding for 30 minutes straight.
We got the shot. We've got it.
Oh my gosh. And then the next day her throat was swollen and the left side of her face felt paralyzed.
Oh my god!
Is she okay?
She had to go to the hospital to get treated. She'll be okay, but I mean, yeah, if you think it's going to be cute to pose with an octopus.
That's going to stay with you
Think
for the rest
again.
of your life. An octopus attacked your face.
Octopus hates selfies.
That's crazy. So I was trying to think, like, you would think there would never be any injuries, and fishing's one of those ones that the more you talk about it, okay, a lot of people get injured fishing. But what about bowling?
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Kev, I just dropped a frozen Dr. Pepper on my foot, and I'm still sore. Imagine if that was a bowling ball. That's what I'm saying.
All right. I'm just curious if that has any. What about knitting?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, knitting, and then all of a sudden you misjudge, and then you stab your hand? I could easily see that. Yeah. I could see someone stabbing their hand.
Because I was trying to think of things that I think would be hard to get hurt doing.
Radio.
Well, yeah.
He hurts himself a lot.
It's true.
DJ Scabs.
I do hurt myself a lot doing radio.
I thought about painting, but then you got people falling off ladders.
Oh, if you've never been painted, if you've never had your eyeball painted on accident, you have not known true suffering.
No, never have.
Well, what will happen is your eyeballs.
How'd you get your eyeball painted?
My sister accidentally, she was painting the closet, and I was right behind her trying to scare her, and she turned around, and she had a big old glob of paint, and it went right in my eye, and my eye was so swollen, I thought I was going blind. It was very traumatic.
Like if somebody's just sitting there doing like, you know, the regular, like when you drink, sip and whatever.
Like on canvas.
You can't get hurt doing that, can you?
You could.
I mean, you shouldn't.
You could fall off your chair drinking too much
But
wine.
yeah, sipping paint.
Yeah, but throwing in the wine, it makes it a little bit more dangerous. Yeah, I was trying to think what should be the safest thing, and has anybody actually gotten hurt at that? Like, I can't believe I got hurt doing blah, blah, blah.
Every job you've said, I can find a way to get hurt in that way. Seriously, knitting? Kev, it's like a knife.
Yeah, but it's so calm. It's like, it's
peaceful.
exact. Yeah.
Sitting there.
I've never heard of any knitting injuries.
I could totally see you getting up to go get something to eat, and the needle somehow gets wedged in the cushion, and then you sit down, needle in the butt. I could totally see that.
All right, okay. If you got hurt doing something that you shouldn't get hurt doing, I'd like to hear about it. 877-979-WRMF. You can call or text the KVJ Show.
Get the info on everything that's going on with us at kvjshow.com.
I was thinking about it, and I didn't think you could really get hurt bowling, and then somebody sent me a photo of their foot after they dropped a 15-pound ball on it. Somebody else has sent me a story, said when I was like 4, I slipped when I was bowling, and I ended up needing stitches, and I'm still terrified of the sport 20 years later.
Oh, my gosh.
So apparently bowling, very violent.
It can be.
Yeah, somebody said when I was 15, I went bowling with my sister and her boyfriend at the time, and the ball flew off my hand when I swung back and almost took out some chick's head.
Ooh.
Denny's almost threw one through the side window. It was pretty fun.
Oh,
The spinning bowling, he doesn't spin well or bowl well. Neither
We
one of
did
us
dizzy
do.
bowling, yeah.
Yeah, he almost threw it through the window.
Yeah, that is a tough one. So people are trying to throw out the challenge here. Okay, no way you can get hurt, ... Okay, so bowling I'm taking off the list. You can get hurt bowling. Okay. I was still saying knitting. I mean, unless you're attacking somebody with knitting needles, I don't think just sitting there doing the act of knitting you can get hurt.
I'm going to Google knitting accidents. Okay. And I guarantee you things come up.
Okay, how about painting? And I don't mean, you know, you're on a ladder and you're painting a house. I get that. But you're sitting at one of the sip and paints and you're just sitting there and dabbing your little brush.
On a canvas.
Yeah, you're doing like what Bob Ross does. I mean, Bob Ross, you look at that and you're thinking, he's pretty safe, right? You cannot get hurt painting like Bob Ross.
It doesn't seem dangerous.
I mean, how far you want to go into this game? If you're sitting at a sip and paint and you are on one of those stools, you could easily fall over and hurt yourself. If you
Easily?
Yes, easily. If you're sitting on a stool, easily.
You haven't seen how much we paint and then sip.
Some of us suffer from
It's not paint and chug.
some of us suffer from vertigo / alcoholism. So
Sometimes the same thing.
They go hand in hand.
Somebody else texted in and said, no way you can get hurt reading a book. You're
paper
right.
cut.
But I mean, hurt. Like, ouch.
Paper
okay. And
cuts
you move
are
on.
vicious.
They can be vicious, man. Then you want to eat ketchup. The ketchup salt gets in your cut. It's very distracting.
No way you can get hurt stamp collecting or coin collecting. Yeah, I agree.
More paper cuts.
I'm going to go outside the box on this one.
Okay.
You own a unbelievably rich stamp collection / coin collection. People know about it. You get robbed, possibly shot over it. Am I reaching too far?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just want to see where the line's at with this game.
I was going to say sleeping, but then people were talking about how they've pulled muscles. Somebody even caught their, I don't know, hand on something sleeping.
If you're a sleepwalker, it's horrific.
People all the time accidentally put their face into their nightstand.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, falling out of bed, something like
Yeah.
that. I guess you can.
I think stamp collecting / coin collector is the only thing I've heard where you could not really legit get hurt.
I wouldn't think so. Sabrina's on here from Boynton. She's had some bizarre injuries here. What you wouldn't think you would be able to get hurt doing it. What is it you hurt yourself doing, Sabrina?
Watching TV with my sister.
How did you get hurt doing that?
So I left the room, and she was going to change the channel, which was my favorite movie. And I ran back into the room, and I smacked my hand on the couch and broke my hand in 3 places.
Oh, wow.
That sucks.
I actually had to have surgery, and I have a metal plate in my hand.
Oh, my.
All because of that one moment.
That's wow.
Yep. I'm pretty accident prone, though, so this is not unusual for me.
I
Another
get
time
it.
I was... Yeah, another time I was yo-yoing and walking at the same time, and the yo-yo wrapped around my ankle, sliced the whole ankle. I have a scar around my ankle from that.
Oh,
really?
We're kindred spirits, my friend.
I know, we really are.
Oh, my gosh. Hurt yourself yo-yoing. And I think I saw today's National Yo-Yo Day, too.
Oh, that's cool.
And nobody gives a crap.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not true.
Who cares?
You know, yo-yoing every now and then, it comes back for like 2 weeks. And it becomes cool again somehow. Somebody does a viral video doing some cool tricks with a yo-yo and
walk the dog.
Everyone's tried doing it, and then they realize it's a lot of work and it's really hard, and then like it dies out again.
Yo-yoing is very nostalgic for me because my grandfather and then my dad, they loved to yo-yo.
Could they walk the dog?
Oh, hell yeah.
You know that trick I'm talking about?
Totally.
That's the yo-yo 101 trick right there. Walking the dog.
Walking the dog was easy. They could do like the baby in the basket. They could do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, they had this product, and it was cheating. It was called a yo ball, and it would snap back. It was a ball that had a spring in it, and so no matter what you did, it would always come back to you.
Oh, yo-yo with steroids, basically?
Oh, it was cheating. Totally cheating. It was called the yo ball, yeah. And it was a ball that yeah, you did the same thing with it.
Rigging yo-yos.
Rigging yo-yo.
Look at this.
It started early.
Uh-huh. Let me see. Somebody said there's no way you can get hurt tucking your child into bed unless you're my husband. He threw his back out.
That's awesome.
Okay. Somebody's thinking on the stamp collecting, licking the stamps, and I think there was a TV show,
Seinfeld, his
where she
fiance,
was licking envelopes and
for
died.
their wedding invitations.
But if it's a stamp collector, you should not be licking your stamps. Why are you licking them?
You're right. That's the
They're
whole
too
thing.
old to lick.
And there's collector's items. I mean, I know I can't throw any stones, but stamp collecting seems so boring. I couldn't get into it.
Okay, G.I. Joe
I know.
ships.
I really have I should not ever get on
so
any...
many G.I. Joe ships.
Agreed. I should not be hating on stamps.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, yeah, on the crochet, I once crocheted for 3+ hours, and I got a hand cramp so bad I couldn't move my hand for 12 hours.
Ooh.
So you can hurt yourself knitting and crocheting. You got to know when to say when. That's crazy. And somebody said, no way you can get hurt listening to the KVJ show. Oh, wait, my ears just hurt listening to the dirt of the day.
Oh!
What? Yeah! What?
Well played.
Yeah, what?
In your face.
Oh!
Ow! There's a lot of dumbass criminals to talk about, baby. It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. So many people are mad. Ow!
Well, we do have a update. Yesterday, I dropped that story on it about the Brazilian drug lord that tried to escape prison by dressing up as his 19-year-old daughter. She bought this disguise there to the prison for him, and included like a latex mask and like girls' clothes that a 19-year-old would wear, wig, glasses, all that kind of stuff. And the cops, honestly, when he put on the disguise, he looked like one of those robot sex dolls you see.
Creepy.
It was kind of creepy, and it just not enough to where they're like, that didn't look right.
Wait a minute.
Let's stop him. And then they had the video that went viral of them peeling off the disguise. And yesterday somebody said, yeah, did you hear that he had actually hung himself? I had not, and got confirmation of that. Yeah, he did. Took out bed sheets, and apparently after he got busted.
Wow.
Yeah.
He did not want to be there.
Guess so. Yeah, after that was
Jeez.
foiled, he went and offed himself in the cell. So.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was a very insane story. This kind of crazy, too. Cops in Vero Beach saw this guy sitting in the driver's seat of a parked vehicle. They went over to talk to him and noticed that they could see a half bottle of Hennessy cognac was in the passenger seat and a cup of the Henny was in the cup holder. That's troubling. So they started to talk to the guy and they asked for his driver's license and he handed them a vape pen. They said, yeah, do you know where you are? He's like, yeah, I'm in Tampa.
Whoopsie.
Cops were pretty sure they were in Vero Beach. They said, yeah, so what you doing? He said, yeah, man, I just smoked some really rad THC to get myself ready because Jesus is coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when was this? Yesterday?
I
Few
don't
days
know
ago?
the day. Yeah.
Probably a couple days ago.
I mean, Jesus could be here.
This is the same guy that was drinking Hennessy?
Henny.
Have you ever had Henny?
Don't remember if I have.
I don't think I've ever had it. I want to try it.
I've had it. It's strong.
Stronger than regular whiskey?
It's different.
Okay. Do you drink it like a whiskey? Is it?
Yeah.
Or do you add things to Henny?
It's cognac.
It's cognac. You can add ice to it, or you can just drink it straight.
Back with all the rap songs I would listen to, they always dropped Henny in there, and I never tried it. Okay. Henny Wednesday?
Henny's not even like the best cognac. There's way better cognacs
Hens
out
Day?
there.
Hens to Kevin. That is real good.
Well, they decided just for fun, they give him a few sobriety exercises. Guess what? He didn't pass a 1.
Aw. Shocking.
Yeah, his blood alcohol level of 0.219, and that's not counting the weed pen that he'd been token on. That's more than double the legal limit of 0.08. So, yeah. He's going to have to wait for Jesus in jail. Well, there's a 70-year-old British man that's been awarded more than $24,000 after going into a hospital for a bladder procedure. Surprised when it came out he was circumcised.
So is that a mixed chart? Is that what happens?
Yeah. I still need to get that bladder procedure, but he's going to let his ding-dong heal up first.
24 grand. Do you let them cut you like that?
For 24 grand tax-free?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
All right. So the price is set.
Can you get a double?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
I could still have kids if I wanted, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, 24 grand, definitely. I'm in.
Yeah.
We'll get so many cool things for the show.
We could do a design. You could do it, make it look like a corkscrew.
Get that KVJ food truck I've been wanting to do.
Yeah. There's a 38-year-old woman in Australia that was desperate to hear from her baby daddy. So she had a plan. Apparently, he wasn't returning her text, was blocking her on social media, so she only had one more thing to do. She decided to cover the entire small town in graffiti.
Oh, wow.
Walls, floors, restaurant menu boards, she did it all. It said, Chris, you need to talk to me before a baby is born or don't bother after.
Wow.
She did all this pregnant?
Yes, she did.
Wow.
She was caught and charged with criminal damage, willful damage, and committing indictable offenses whilst on bail. So she apparently already had a record.
Are her and Chris still together?
No word on what happened, if the baby daddy actually got a hold of her or not. Not sure. I would like an update. The cops in Kansas tracked down a guy who broke into a house on Friday, even after he covered himself completely in mud to try to hide.
That does not work.
They made sure to take a lot of photos of him covered in mud to mock him later.
You think it's genius, though, when you're coming up with it. You're like, I'm just going to lay in the yard in a little shallow hole in mud, and only my eyes will be looking out, and they won't see me.
If it's a last-ditch effort, I'll give it to you. But if that's your plan, that's pretty rough.
There's a New Hampshire woman that used some fake vampire blood and makeup to make it seem like her neighbor had attacked her. She then called the police and said, "Look at what my neighbor did to me. You got to arrest her. She punched and scratched me and I'm bleeding all over the place." Well, the police found cushions on the floor, a broken glass plate, and there was this thin red blood throughout the entire apartment. The woman had red stains on her shirt, black eyes, scratches on her arms and legs. It looked horrible. But then as they were looking around, they also found a plastic tube of fake vampire blood.
Oh, she didn't get rid of the fake tube? Come on, lady.
Now, does she get arrested and go to jail for lying about a crime that did not happen?
She was charged with filing a false report.
Good.
How long do you go in jail for that? A day?
Probably not a lot.
Don't know. Not sure.
The neighbor's probably like, "Bah, ha, ha, ha."
Can you imagine that? I mean, it doesn't even, the fake vampire blood doesn't even look close to real blood.
It really doesn't.
No. The movie people do what? Cornstarch and stuff like that?
They do.
Food coloring, and
Yeah.
they make their own little recipe for it. Looks a lot better than that fake stuff. Boy, I tell you, the iguanas, they're all over the place. They're now actually doing grocery shopping. There were some firefighters that went into a grocery store in Hollywood, Florida, and they said, look, the iguana was just roaming up and down the aisles.
Oh, good luck catching him.
Yeah.
Those things are fast.
They can be. I saw one sprint up my tree. I mean, really quick, and then just kind of hanging out, lurking in the top of the tree. So when you're walking by trees, just know there's iguanas up there.
Be careful.
Well, Hollywood firefighters are faster. They caught him and removed him from the store. So
Okay.
apparently iguanas are not allowed in Publix.
They're even creepier when they run across the water. They're so quick.
I know you said you saw the Jesus one by your house.
The Jesus lizard,
I got
yeah.
a Jesus iguana.
Yeah. Somebody in Washington called 911 on kids for running a lemonade stand. The cops showed up to that lemonade stand and they bought lemonade.
Aw, good.
That's kind of cool. And
Come
a
on.
postal worker in Phoenix took a picture of a steak cooking on his dashboard just to show how insane the heat is that he and his coworkers have to deal with. Cooked a steak on his dash.
Dang.
Yeah, I know we tried that with what was it? We did eggs?
We did an egg on the pavement, I think.
Yeah. I saw somebody baking biscuits in their dash.
Ooh, that'd be a fun thing to do tomorrow. What kind of meals can we cook on the road or on the sidewalk?
Yeah, some people have been doing to get viral clicks. They've been doing a bunch of different foods. And I think the biscuits are rising a little bit. The eggs, somewhat. They tried cookies. They made pretty raw.
Would you let me make you a sidewalk breakfast tomorrow?
In whose car?
Oh, Kevin's.
What? That's kind of the key there. JBird's got several vehicles out there. Just choose one.
Yeah, I know. You got a lot of cars. You got a fleet of cars.
My truck is dead right now in the parking lot. It's been here for a week.
Oh, no.
It's gonna get towed. Just a matter of moments.
Why is it dead? The battery?
It's not working. I have no idea. It just doesn't start when I try to move it.
Well, you know one of your best friends in the world is a mechanic.
Just get off my ass. I got this covered.
I mean, all you got to do is call him.
Can you let me live my life?
He'd probably be here in 20 minutes.
Kevin.
Just ignore it until it becomes a major problem.
Kevin gets
Ignore it
it.
until they're towing it down the street.
Kevin gets it.
And now you got to pay so much.
I don't want to deal with it until it's a major problem.
You get me, man.
I get you. I
Why
know,
be smart?
I know how you operate, brother.
This is 97.9 WRMF Palm Beach.
Somebody just texted into us. We had that story from Vero Beach with the dude that was just chilling in his car, knocking back some yak, little Henny. And the cop's like, what you doing? He's like, just chilling here in Tampa and smoking on this sweet pipe, wait for Jesus to return. Thing is, the guy was in Vero, not Tampa. A little bit of yak and the pipe might do that for you. Some buddy texted in and said, yeah, I found a vape in my teenage daughter's car. She said that somebody gave it to her and she's never used it because vape liquid is too expensive, so she had planned on selling it. I confiscated it. Does this sound like the truth or...
Your Honor, I've heard enough. She's definitely smoking weed.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I would say.
Expert opinion.
If my parents caught me, it's Denny's. He gave it to him. I'm selling it for him.
I started to remember back as I was thinking about this text. I'm like going, how many lame excuses did we give our parents for contraband when we got busted back in the day? There was all kinds of stuff. If you got busted with a weed or cigs or something like that, I always if I got caught with like cigarettes or something like that, I was holding it for a friend or, you know what? They totally were over here and left it in my room.
Not mine.
Like, that's not cool.
I don't do that.
I wasn't chain smoking with my mullet.
Yeah. I did that kind of stuff all the time. I hate to say it. I would say that when kids probably tell you that, maybe 1 out of 95 times they're telling the truth.
Did you ever catch your kids lying? Well, you knew.
No, my kids so far have been pretty good. I don't think of anything that, we caught them contraband-wise that...
Not even contraband, just where they're telling you a tall tale, and you're like, this doesn't seem right.
Nothing that pops out to me. My wife might have something. She has a much better record of anybody's missteps.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. I mean, I think in your child rearing,
yes,
your wife is probably asking more questions of them. And so they have more opportunity to lie to her.
Yeah.
Because she's more like, okay, what are you doing? What's up with this? Tell me about that. Like, she's probably grilling them more.
I'd lie about my report card. Where's your report card? Oh, for some reason, there was this big glitch in the system. And then I'd have to go to my sister. Tell them there was a glitch in the report card because you can't get yours and then I don't get mine. We have to be on the same page here.
Every time?
Oh, there was so many glitches, Kev.
Oh, they couldn't get that computer right.
Never.
Weren't you worried, though, like at the parent-teacher meeting, that they'd be like, hey, why do you guys always have glitches with your report cards?
Back then, man, we didn't have those. I was in high school. They never had that kind of stuff. It's changed so much since back then. At least in this area, it would not like that. You could get away with a lot of crap.
I got one on Friday sitting down. It's like we haven't done anything yet. They got one to start school.
You've got one before anything happens?
Yeah.
Wow.
This Friday.
Oh, so
it's a one-on-one with the teacher?
Yeah, it is.
They do things like that now. They care now. Back then.
What's going on?
Annoying.
Back then.
What's going on?
I don't know.
It's left us to our own devices. It's some crazy stuff. So, yeah, no, that definitely does happen. Coming up here in a couple minutes, Denny's pulled off her JBird, I think, from Reddit. I've seen a lot of these. A lot of these are standard, but it's kind of a note to any of us who do eat out a good bit. The things you do that are annoying servers.
Virginia, this is such an eye-opening conversation to have because a lot of people are doing stuff they don't even realize how annoying they are.
I know. I see it. And I'm just like, oh, you better be careful how angry you make the person that's fixing your food. You don't know what kind of day they had.
Yeah, I will give you the server's top patron peeves, the things that they say are driving them crazy. And if you are a server and you want to add to it, you can text us right now, 877-979-9763 here at the KVJ Show. Okay, don't do it. If you're going to restaurants a lot, you are paving off your servers. There's a Reddit thread here, and how much of this would you agree on? The server's top patron peeves. One thing that, and I've seen this before in many different threads, if you're doing this, if you are snapping or whistling at your servers, like, hey, 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 hey.
Oh, snapping and whistling is just the most disgusting thing that I hope I never see.
They teach you at some of these fancy golf courses, the one I worked, if anyone ever asked you to where anything was at, you weren't even allowed to point to where, so you have to walk them over. No snapping, no pointing, nothing.
A lot of places say you don't point.
I guess pointing's rude.
It is.
Is it though?
Yeah.
The ice cube tray is right there. I have to walk your rich ass to the ice cube tray.
Another one they say is being on your damn phone while ordering. Honestly, just no.
Oh, there was a woman doing that at the deli, and she's talking about some other crap with her girlfriend. You can hear the girlfriend talking so loud. Has nothing to do with subs, and it was holding up the entire line.
That's awful.
And then she gets mad because her number doesn't get called the right time. I'm like, you're on your phone.
Mm-hmm. They say also when it's almost closing time and the group is just kind of sitting there chilling. Food's gone. They're just talking. Please talk outside. Let me close the restaurant. I just want to go home somewhat on time.
I'm guilty of that.
Okay.
I linger.
All right, DeQuesta.
Yeah. Well, those DeQuesta restaurants, they close down at 7 p.m.
They do close early.
Yeah, so.
Try getting a drink at 9:30 in DeQuesta. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, peak hour is 4 p.m. Early bird special. They're all over it.
That's true.
If you want a split bill, ask for a split bill before you order anything.
Yeah, people do it at the end. Oh, yeah, the zingers are for me. The crab awful cakes are for Virginia.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy.
I probably have to do that better because, yeah, sometimes I don't think about it. They come, they order, and I do my thing. And at the end, they're like, well, sometimes they'll ask, be like, okay, do you want to split this check or whatever? Because they see it's clearly like two different couples. But so if you're talking about learning from it, yeah.
Okay, so
as I order, be like, hey, split check, then I need to try to remember to do that at the front.
Okay, so both of you are mildly annoying thus far with this list. You both are guilty.
Probably, yeah. Sometimes I just, because I'm talking to somebody next to me, and then you're ordering, you're like, yeah, and you start your order, and my mind is like, I get so easily distracted. So if you take me off course, then you're not gonna happen.
You don't order and talk on the phone, do you?
No, I never talk on the phone anyway.
Okay.
You know me.
It's tricky. I don't like to talk on the phone ever.
Yeah, I don't. I'm never on the phone.
It better be real important.
All three of us hate talking on the phone.
Hate it.
Yeah. No, I don't do that. Let me see another one they suggested on Reddit. Letting your kids wander away from the table when they get antsy. We're carrying sizzling platters, trays of cocktails, stacks of dishes, and it is just a nightmare waiting to happen.
You can't let the kids run around the restaurant. You gotta bring them back.
Somebody else said, as a table, know what you all need at once. Refills, napkins, etc. It's much more efficient for everyone.
And that one I disagree with. Sometimes you get something a little extra saucy. You don't realize it. You may not know.
I think they're saying where it's like, you'll say, hey, can you get me a fork? And you come back, oh, yeah. And by the way, can you...
He needs a water. And, oh, she needs a napkin.
But you don't tell them all at once.
Yeah.
And can you also get them a napkin? And then, yeah. So they're trying to look around, and when they come back... so they can come back with 3 or 4 items instead of making 3 or 4 trips. Somebody said changing your order while it's already being cooked is one of these servers' top patron peeves.
I mean, it's part of the game, though, isn't it? Sometimes there's casualties here.
Oh, I never thought that. I figure that's why I take it seriously. When I put in my order, I'm like, it's done. Like, there's no going back.
Right.
I would not do it because I think it would be annoying. But if, let's say you realize you ordered the wrong thing, which can happen, are you supposed to just take it in the shorts?
I would just add to what you already ordered.
That's what I would do.
And be like, I made a mistake. I'm not going to mess up everybody else's flow because I blew it.
I'll take the sandwich home and then order me the hash brown.
You wanted a sandwich to bring home anyway.
Exactly.
So some of the texts that servers are sending us is, as a female server, when you get hit on, it's tough because you're literally a hostage. Like, you have to be nice, and you have to let them down nicely. So, and then you've still got like a tip that's kind of riding on it, I assume, is probably part of it as well. Yeah, I told him I was married, and then I don't get a good tip at all.
So let me ask then, are you never, ever allowed to hit on a waitress? If you feel like there's a connection there, is that off the books?
Go light and don't press would be what I would say. Go light,
go press. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be my
suggestion.
suggestion.
Go light and don't press.
That's what I got it.
Yeah. Somebody said, server, yeah, can I get you anything else? Customer, the winning lotto numbers. My wife is a bartender, and she hates when people respond with that.
Oh, that's their joke?
Yeah, can I get you anything else? Yeah, how about the winning lotto numbers?
Well, they're just doing their act.
That's their act.
That's how they're doing.
Yes. Let me see some of the other stuff that we get. Complaining about all the extra charges for sauce or splitting your meal. Like, I don't make the rules, man.
Yeah, they are the person in the middle. They're not the reason why they're charging extra for pickles.
Yes. Somebody said one of my peeves when they don't look at you when they're ordering.
Some people have ordering anxiety. In fact, I knew somebody that couldn't order. They were too nervous to order. They would start to stutter, so I'd have to order for them.
Aww.
Yeah, you never know, man. Some people are not very good in public situations.
Is that Suits?
No, it's not Suits.
Yeah, a lot of times I don't make eye contact while I'm ordering because I've done that where I've tried to, and then I forget, wait, what was it I wanted? And then
Kevin gets lost in their eyes.
Yeah, well, I do it. I start talking like, okay, and they're like, what did you want? I'm like, and then like I'll say, yeah, I wanted the chicken something or other. They'd be going, was it the chicken this or the chicken that? I'm like, and then I try to find the menu. Now I'm lost, and now I'm like, I'm totally annoying them because I'm like, where was that thing?
I always lose my place on the menu.
Yeah, so sometimes I will say I'm probably guilty of that because I lock into the menu and I read it verbatim and I want to make sure I get it right.
If there's too many options, I legit get food anxiety, and that's when I order 9 different meals.
Yeah. So
Too many options. I don't know.
You may complain that I don't make eye contact. I think you want me looking at my menu, to be honest with you.
To keep this flowing.
Yes. Otherwise, I'm going to annoy you more. So be like, wait, I don't know which chicken I want.
And plus, let's not even throw in the whole beady eyes thing. That alone.
Yeah, no server wants me to make eye contact with them.
You're only
They're not
allowed to
complaining.
do it if you're wearing sunglasses.
Yes, there you go. All right. Anything else you want to drop on us? You always can here on the KVJ Show.
This is the KVJ Show on 97.9 WRMF.
Well, if you're a guy like JBird and I, wouldn't you say pretty much after the age of 30, you start seeing your buddies who got married, starting to have relationship issues, marriage problems?
Oh, they have that 500-yard stare. They just look out the window and just gaze and not speak.
Yeah, there's, things that do crop up. And, we talk to people all the time about, relationship issues we're having. And a lot of times we boil it down to like going to therapy. Well, Andrew had sent an email here, and I've been poring over this thing, trying to figure out, okay, what I could send back to him to help him out. Now, he says in his email that he loves his wife. He's sacrificed. He's moved for her. He's quit a job he loved for her. He's even taken care of her 2 kids that are from her last relationship. The problem is they're not having sex, and they haven't for 4 years. And he's trying. He's cleaning the house. He's letting her take naps, taking care of the kids. They've got opportunity to do it. But she's just talking about being depressed, and there's just not any kind of drive that's going on there.
4 years, that's a whole college run.
It is. And, she'll blame it on the kids, or just I'm tired, or just something's going on, and it's just not happening. He's like, look, she doesn't seem depressed to me. It just seems like this is kind of a poor excuse for doing it. Now, he's faced with this, and he's tried to get her to go to therapy, and she doesn't even want to do that, and he doesn't want to leave her because divorce is going to be expensive. Plus, he says, I do love her. So he's trying to figure out, okay, how I handle this, because he still has the sexual urges that she does not.
Do you think that's grounds for divorce if one partner just will not have sex and the other one really wants to? Guy or girl, guy, girl, whatever the situation is. If one person's holding out, 4 years is a long time. And they won't go to therapy?
Sex is a big part of marriage. And I think if anybody in the marriage decides to change. So when you first got together, you had sex, and then all of a sudden you decide you don't want to have it anymore. So if you're the party that doesn't want to have it anymore, and you're just adamant about it for 4 years, that's pretty adamant. You have to either be ready to be divorced, or let your husband go out there and have fun someplace else.
Is that what you think? Okay.
I think.
Really? You're saying open up the relationship.
So he has to be a sexual camel because you don't feel like it for the rest of of his life? He didn't sign up for that, and you weren't like that when you got together.
Right. It seems like, the strain should be on her in this to say, look, the clock is ticking. It's 4 years, and you need to either get a hormone therapy or something like that to make the urge, because this is important to me. Because his next question is one that maybe it's valid. Now, normally I'm not about stepping out of your marriage at all when it comes to stuff like this. But here he is in a tough situation where there's an opportunity, apparently, Andrew, with some other woman. Now, tell me this woman, how handy. She lives in Canada?
Yeah, man. She lives in Canada. She happens to be coming to town.
Okay.
Right? She's my best friend's cousin. And she's had the hots for me for quite a while.
Okay.
She doesn't live here. She lives all the way up in Canada. Plus, she rarely ever comes down here. She's 10 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. And I just can't stop thinking about this woman.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. She's still my best friend, but she's wanted to bang me when she comes down here. And my wife doesn't even know she exists.
Right.
Not even an inkling. Right.
So, in a sense, it sounds like you have got the sure thing and the free and clear. Nobody be the wiser. You scratch your itch. You go back to a wife that you love, but just won't give you any action, and problem solved.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, nothing. The immediate fun and release of it, sure, it'll be exciting. It'll be a charge. You'll be so thrilled to be finally getting some after 4 years. But after you do, then what?
Here's what, honestly, if I was in your situation, what I would do, I would sit my wife down and say, look, I was almost about to cheat on you. That's how bad this is. You don't want to go to therapy with me. I have needs. We're talking 4 years now where we could have gotten better. You're not going to do that. This is my warning shot. I'm leaving you if things don't change, and they have to change ASAP. If not, I'm out of here, and I'm going to be getting me some Canada Strange.
Yeah, you can.
Canada Dry, not so dry, hopefully.
I think, like you're saying, why is it okay for one person to be one way? If the whole thing of her not wanting to go to therapy and not wanting to get better, that's where she fails.
Well, and she's the one that changed. He's been consistently wanting to have a healthy marriage, which includes sex. And she did in the beginning. But if she doesn't now, she changed. She needs to fix herself or allow him to go have his fun.
Don't cheat. Be 110% honest and so transparent. And then tell her this is going to be separation and then I'm going to go see somebody else.
Well, you might see this situation happen a lot. I'd be curious if anybody's in it where, you could talk to her, be open with her, and maybe redraw the boundaries of whatever it is your marriage is, saying, look, I mean, this is the situation. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to divorce you, and maybe we can keep this thing going because I do love you, but I want to go scratch that itch, and you're not scratching it. You're not willing to do it. And you're not going to go talk to anybody. You're not going to get hormone replacement or anything to get you in the mood for it. So let's redraw the boundaries here where, hey, I get a pass to go out and do that, and I'll be safe and all that good stuff, and I'll be faithful otherwise to you. I'll let you know what's going down.
I'd stay away from the past. I think this is separation grounds.
I think just for some people, though, like divorces are crazy expensive, and some people are just like financially, they wind up in issues where they're like, gosh, what do I do? I mean, everything else is fine. We get along.
Put the ball in her court. Let her pick.
Yeah. What's it going to be?
What do you want it to be? Because I can't go on like this.
Yeah.
It's changed. You changed it. So now here's what I have. I have 2 roads I can travel. I can go divorce or I can go cheat on you. What do you want me to do?
Or road 3, we can work on our marriage and try to, get things together again.
She said she won't go to therapy.
Kind of sounds like, he's...
But if you drop the D-bomb, I mean, if after that doesn't work, then you need to go out. But maybe if you threaten her with divorce, saying, I am serious. I was about to go up to Canada. Get some Canadian.
I didn't think Canada
was coming to him.
Yes, you're right. I mean, even better.
Even easier. It's like delivery.
You're right.
How quickly was she going to go back to Canada? That's my question.
Yeah, that's a good point, too, yeah.
Because hopefully she wasn't planning on sticking around.
Sometimes they stay for the whole season.
Yeah, I know. You've got this whole Canadian
when
drama.
When are you going back again?
Isn't it winter?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be going?
So you might want to check on that. Any thoughts for Andrew? Who has gone through this? How did you handle it? What was the easiest way to deal with it? If you had a wife or a husband that was like right just like what Andrew's dealing with, what's the easiest path to take? You can let him know, 877-979-9763. You can call or text us here at the KVJ Show. Okay, well, trying to help out Andrew here. It's been a while since he and his wife have been intimate, like 4 years. They've talked about it, and he's trying to figure out exactly what is going on here, and now he's pretty much to his wit's end, and he's got opportunity that is knocking, and it's got a Canadian accent. What does he do? Well, that is the big question here. Monica is on from Jupiter with her thoughts on this. What would you like to say about this, Monica?
Hi, I just want to say that I love you guys. Been watching you since before high school.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and now I'm married, and we're in the age where we go through all those kinds of things. And I just want to say that most men can't go 4 days, 4 years as a married and wife, husband and wife, and he's taking care of your kids.
Yeah.
This is a good man right here, because I can't imagine that somebody didn't go do something else. And my grandmother told me a long time ago, if somebody's not taking care of your man, someone else is going to do it for you. And I am just in shock that it's been that long and that he's been holding out for that long.
Yeah.
He needs to tighten up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Very clear conversation with her, and he should tell her, listen, this is what's up. She wants me. If somebody else is out there, you better take care of me because somebody else will. And maybe talk about an open relationship at this point, because that's it's embarrassing and it's sad, and it makes all of us wives was bad. And I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. I still took care of my husband.
Nice.
Because that's what we're supposed to do.
No, you know, I think it's a good idea. You got to fight for a marriage. And sometimes it feels like one of the people in the marriage gives up and they're not fighting for it. And it's like, look, I mean, you got to fight, like you got to do what Monica's talking about. It's not like you're indentured to have to give up sex, and it doesn't sound sexy, but you want to fight for your marriage to succeed. And you know a lot of the elements that takes it to work.
It's a big percentage of the syllabus.
Yeah.
The intimacy.
Yeah, you're fighting for this thing and you're trying to make it happen. Now, the 4 years is disturbing, and one of the texts kind of sums it up. Said, I've known several women who hadn't slept with their husbands in 3 or 4 years, and every single one of them were having an affair. They weren't disinterested in sex. They were disinterested in sex with their husband.
Oh.
That's way messed up.
So the husband thinks that it's him, and
Andrew
meanwhile,
thinks-
they're getting it somewhere else.
Yeah, Andrew's thinking, oh, look at me. Well, then I'm just going to step out with a Canadian girl. Well, go ahead, because she's been stepping out with
Philadelphia Jack for a while.
Yeah. Who knows?
That would be messed up if you find out that the whole time she's been cheating.
With Philadelphia Jack. He comes in town oh so often with his fancy looks.
I hadn't thought about that.
Somebody else suggested, too, you need to talk her into seeing her gyno and discussing it. It's most likely a hormonal imbalance that can be fixed. That was the last resort that I could think of, because it sounds like he's done a lot of the things that we would instruct somebody to do.
Well, she doesn't want to go to the doctor or the therapist or nothing. They've according to him, on his side of the story, they've tried it all, and she just doesn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said maybe Andrew just let himself go and he's gross. She just doesn't want to touch you because you were revolting to her.
A lot of theories.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of theories.
It could be a lot of stuff.
Maybe he let himself go. He's gross.
If he did, but hey, Canada will take him.
Yeah, Canada. Canada wants him.
Canada has lower standards. I don't know
very
what's going
low.
on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So, yeah, we definitely want to figure out what might be happening. But Andrew is right there at the end of it. Yeah, he might want to say, hey, look, you're not having an affair on me, or keep his eyes open for that. The discussion with the gyno would probably be good. And then after that, like Monica had said, I don't know. At that point, do you get to an open marriage if you don't want to do the divorce?
What are the people saying? Are the most of the people saying through text, are they saying cheat? Are they saying talk to her?
They're kind of giving their own responses to like what they've done, what their own theories are, but nobody necessarily given, what exactly they do, with the situation if they were Andrew. Because, yeah, I mean, this is kind of a tough thing.
Now they're saying maybe he's not good in bed in the chat room. This gets started on him.
Well, you know what? If he goes and tries to communicate with her and they actually start talking about all these things, and if it is his skill level, if he is gross, maybe that should come up in discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, what do we have to lose? Communication may be the only thing that could save this.
How would you tell Panda that he turned gross and that he was bad? Let's just say he all of a sudden he's terrible in bed and he really let himself go, and you think he's gross. How do you handle that? Do you come to me first and say Bird, or do you go right to the source?
I'll probably go on the radio and talk about it.
Definitely,
first.
that's what you do.
Yeah, it's totally.
Definitely.
So that everybody can be like, wow. Your wife says you let yourself go.
You guys, I got this email and she needs help.
No, he wouldn't even do that. You guys, y'all, I got to tell you something.
Somebody said, I work for law enforcement, and we got a 911 call from a guy who was insisting that police respond to tell his wife that it was her wifely duty to have sex with him, and wanted the police to enforce this.
Oh, well, you're just dumb. The police can't enforce it.
That's got to be the worst police phone call ever.
They're like, really?
They get awful calls, don't they? Yeah. So, all right. Any other thoughts on this? You can let us know, 877-979-9763, and we'll try to keep in touch with Andrew to find out what he decides to do.
Want to find the KVJ Show on social media? Just search KVJ Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Simple, huh?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people got all kinds of suggestions for Andrew on this. Amanda's on here from Stewart. He's not had relations with his wife in 4 years, but doesn't want a divorce. This is kind of interesting. And maybe you see this more and more where it's like, got the whole family thing and that's all good. It's just that one element of sex is missing out. And that, I think, might be the question that a lot of people have to ask. Yeah, because if anybody went through their marriage, it's probably going to be rare that you would say, I am happy with everything.
You're right.
About my spouse. I love everything about them. There's nothing that I would say that I just don't love.
Okay, top 5 things you hate about your spouse. Go. What guess you got? I don't have a dog in this fight. I just want to hear.
And you don't have a wife, so.
I know.
And you never will.
I just sit back and watch.
So, I mean, that's it. And your spouse may or may not know. And they probably do have an idea of maybe what it might be. So, when the sex isn't where it should be or the frequency, and that's frustrating, a lot of people would say, yeah, it's not where I want to be, and that's frustrating. But there are other things that are great. We've got, first of all, a lot of projects that we do together, and raising kids is a big one of those. And so some people may say, look, because of the kids' mental well-being, because of financial difficulties and divorce and all that kind of stuff that goes into it, you might wind up in a situation like Andrew.
I just wonder, because I have friends that have 4 to 5 kids that and they're married.
Yeah.
And some that are, they always have time to have sex and they still have 4 or 5 kids. They make time.
Yeah.
They legit make time. And then there's other families that I know that have 4 or 5 kids. We never have time to ever. And one person in the relationship is using the kids to say they don't have time. If one family's able to do it, wouldn't you say there is a way to carve out just a small piece of time once a week? Are you trying to tell me there's never a time period for that?
Yeah, there probably is. I remember one time there was a couple that was telling me that as they were sitting with me at a bar having a beer. I'm like, you got time to sit at a bar and have a beer?
Yeah, I just think sometimes
you make time for what you really want.
Of course.
Yeah.
If you really want to have sex with your wife or husband and you know that's going to keep your relationship together, once a week you guys can't carve out 10 minutes? That, to me, that someone's not trying. I'm not saying guy or girl, someone in the relationship isn't trying.
No, you're right. And if somebody is expressing to you, hey, this is important to me, and you're not making it important, you're just making them feel like they don't matter in the marriage.
Yeah, and you can either wind up in a good or a bad marriage. And maybe it's not to the point where you get divorced, but you're just like, it could be a lot better with just a little extra effort.
I mean, I get everyone's tired and all, but like 10 minutes before bed? Not even like a little round and second, like something?
Yeah.
For both?
So for Andrew, it's like, okay, I feel like I've tried about everything. Hormone replacement discussion is really the last resort. That is the last thing. And then after that, then you got to talk about, okay, this sex thing is an issue. But Andrew kind of like Amanda has basically what he might need to do before he can go hook up with this Canadian chick that apparently wants to jump his bones. So what is your thought on this? How can he peacefully walk into the situation, Amanda?
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning.
So what I think, I kind of agree with JBird, what he said earlier, that he needs to sit his wife down and just have a conversation. I just feel like the way that he approaches this conversation needs to be very sensitive. Being that it's been 4 years, I have a feeling that this has probably come up several times in their relationship. And I feel like if he approaches it in the way of, hey, there's other women that want me, if you don't give me sex, then I'm going to leave you. I feel like that's a very harsh way to approach it, and it could cause her to become very defensive. So I just feel like he needs to approach it in a way that, he sits her down and says, hey, honey, what's going on? Is there something wrong here that I'm not seeing? Is there something that I'm not doing that you want me to do? Is there something that I can do to help you, want to have sex with me? And if her answer is, yes, we need to work on this, then he has something to work off of. But if she says, no, there's really nothing you can do, I just don't really feel like having sex, then that's when he can come in and say, okay, well, I do want to have sex, and this is important to me. It's important to our relationship. So we need to work on this, because if we don't work on this, if we don't go to therapy, then this is going to become a really big issue, and it's going to tear us apart.
And everybody's kind of saying that. They're saying, nobody wants Andrew to go cheat. They're like, you at least need to let her know, be like, hey, I'm I'm stepping out physically. So that's just the way.
Just let her know what's going on.
Yeah,
I think at
it's
4
not
years,
cheating because I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go out and be with somebody else.
After 4 years, I don't even know you have to be so, hey, baby. I think you just have to say, look, this is where we're at right now.
No lies, no deception.
No lies, no deception. I love you. I want to be with you, but I am thinking about stepping out on you because we're it's like a loveless marriage right now.
Well, you know what would be fascinating is in America, if all of a sudden it became not as expensive and a lot easier, how many marriages would still stay together? Oh, that'd be my question.
Yeah.
People are talking about like maybe we need to do that marriage renewal where you don't have the, and that's the biggest thing is
It
dividing
expires.
up assets. Yeah.
Everybody's marriage
Yeah.
expires after what?
7 years. Somebody said, yeah.
A 7-year itch.
Like my gym. If after a year or two, you just don't reissue your membership. I don't hate that idea.
You have to sign off on it again.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, if it weren't for the inconvenience and the chaos and the sorting out all the assets, and if it were just like, hey, I could just walk away and just start sleeping in another place, yeah, how many marriages would stay together?
Well, that's why you see a lot of people separate now. I know a lot of people who are still married, but they are separated and they do not like their former husband or wife. They just don't want to go through the divorce.
Yeah, and a lot of times you can't afford it or just don't want to make it chaotic.
You're right.
A lot of people saying I should have gone to the Kiss show last night at the BB&T Center. They're like, oh, Kev, it was so good. 2 hours of Kiss, and they apparently were good. They said they were singing, sounded good, looked good.
Your boy wanted to go with you.
Yeah.
I was in.
I know. I wouldn't have been here today, and like I said, people are going to really hate me because I'm going to be missing some days next week and a couple weeks later. And so.
Any word about the backing track that we had heard the rumors about?
I was just reading some comments in the text, and it sounded like they were singing. So I had heard in a buddy of mine that really knows Kiss, he said that Paul Stanley is using a backing track. So I don't know. That wouldn't shock me. What would shock me is if Joe Jonas uses a backing track tonight. If he does, not cool. Jonas Brothers tonight, American Airlines Arena in Miami. Got a couple things going on tonight, too. They're also doing the La Liga Serie A with FC Barcelona and SSC Napoli at Hard Rock Stadium. Big old soccer match. Going to be going down that people can go and check out. So a couple things happening. And then tomorrow night at the Hard Rock, got to fix up that grass because the Dolphins had their first preseason game against the Falcons. Going to be going on Hard Rock Stadium. So a couple things to check out. Coming up here before the end of the week, we'll let you know, of course, all the cool things are going to be happening in South Florida. Your Braves are in town this weekend, too, JBird.
Good. They're here to beat up on the Marlins.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the Marlins have...
Smell weak fish, Kev.
Yeah, Marlins have actually a pretty impressive losing streak going on right now.
They play the Marlins. They're like, sweet, we get to pad our stats today.
The guy at the end of the bench is like, cool, I'm going to get to play, guys. We got the Marlins. This is awesome. So that's just some of the stuff going down. Depends upon the weather, though. Apparently, we might have some of those same kind of thunderstorms going on a little bit later on today. We had
Again?
And so I was just kind of like ready to look like the thing popping across,
I feel like every day it has been a monsoon in the afternoon.
It says possible.
If it is a monsoon this afternoon, promise me you're going to turn this into a grilled cheese afternoon with tomato bisque.
Oh, I can't. So my family leaves today. They've been in town for a week and a half. I have got to get it together. We have been eating so much great food, and it's been fun, but I am
back on the diet train, huh?
I got to do a cleanse.
Okay. All right, JBird, we got that podcast coming up here in a second. Before we get to it, leave us with a thought.
This one kind of about our last topic. We were talking about marriage and all that stuff, whatnot. You don't marry someone you can live with. You marry someone you cannot live without.
Okay. I like it.
Did you miss an episode of the KVJ Show? No worries. Find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or kvjshow.com.